education can be boring, but entertainment is always fun. Watch what happened when Miss Brown turned it into one.
If you take care of your bodies, then your bodies will take care of you. If not, well,
technology first is in everything we do.
Hi, I'm Miss Teacher. You normally see me behind the camera. I also edit videos and I upload them to our YouTube channel. I've accepted on some extra tools lately. I've been giving you videos in education, entertainment, edutainment, and environmental science, and a lot more coming soon.
Hello, Sankofa families. Are you ready for today's activities? We are. 3, 2, 1, go.
It sure is dragging me down. I'm almost tagging the ground when I hit that blue drag. It's slow drag. It's got that new lazy swing. I crave that new crazy swing. I must have that blue drag. Now that rhythm, blue rhythm has brought me peculiar pain. Oh, that rhythm, blue rhythm has brought me peculiar day. Can't get enough of blue drag. Oh, it's got my soul on fire. I know that I'll never tire of that low down blue drag. It sure is dragging me down. I'm almost tagging the ground when I hit that blue drag. That slow drag. It's got that new lazy swing. I crave that new crazy swing. I must have that blue drag. Now that rhythm, blue rhythm has brought me peculiar pain. Oh, that rhythm, blue rhythm has brought me peculiar day. Can't get enough of blue drag. Oh, got my soul on fire. I know that I'll never tire of that low down blue drag.
be the very best, like no one ever was. Catch them is my real test. Train them is my cause. I will travel across the land, searching far and wide.
You guys know that theme song and the different characters on the screen? Of course, you guys know that little yellow guy at the bottom, Pikachu. So the show is Pokemon. Did you know Pokemon is a form of anime? This month, it is Culture Month. And this week, we are focusing on the Asian and Pacific cultures. So I figured a lot of our students at the center love to draw. And I always see them drawing different anime characters, which are just a different way of designing characters. So today, I thought it would be cool to show you guys some history of anime. Anime was created over 100 years ago. Wow, right? So we have Pokemon. Another one of my favorites is Dragon Ball Z. I've watched Naruto. Avatar is one of my favorites as well. What are some of your guys' favorite animes? I know some of you are watching the newer anime. I haven't given that a shot yet, but maybe I will if you guys tell me which shows to watch. And you can email that to us at sandycaf@gmail.com, and we love to have a conversation about it. So here is a clip of the history of anime. I hope you guys enjoy it. And this video is by The Screen Rant. So if you guys are looking for more information on anime, go to The Screen Rant. We do not own any copyrights to their YouTube channel. We are just using this for a lesson for you all today.
Join us as we dive deep and talk about the history of anime and how it's evolved over the years to get to its current state. The first anime created was a short film produced by Junichi Kochi all the way back in 1917. To put that into a fictional historical perspective, keep in mind that the first Red Dead Redemption starts in 1911, so 6 years before the first anime was released. Namakura Gatana, or the Dull Sword, was only 4 minutes long, and it was a silent film about a samurai who purchased a sword with a dull blade. It's possible there were older animated films produced in Japan, but this is the first one to have been verified and displayed publicly. Many people believe the word anime is short for the word animation and refers to animated content from Japan. But in Japan, anime is simply the word for any animated cartoon, whether it's produced in Japan or not. Of course, for the purposes of this video, we'll be using anime to refer to animated content created in Japan specifically. The early days of anime are difficult to recall, and not just because they took place so long ago. See, back in those days, you couldn't just make digital copies of your projects. These movies were run on film reels, which would change hands over time and eventually be broken down into single frames or strips to be sold for profit. It was a nice way to make a few bucks, but a poor way to preserve history. We do know there were several prolific anime creators who emerged following the release of Namakura Gatana and were instrumental in shaping the anime we're familiar with today. There's Oten Shimokawa, who was considered one of the primary founders of the genre. He worked as the cartoonist for the magazine Tokyo Puck and was eventually hired to create short animated films. Unlike other animators, Shimokawa didn't stick to paper and pens. He used a wide variety of mediums, including chalk and wax. These unique artistic choices translated to big savings on production costs and an intriguing finished product. Kenzo Masaoka created the first anime with sound, Chikara to Onna no Yono Naka, or Within the World of Power and Women, in 1933. He would go on to co-found Japan Animated Film Studio in 1948. Because it was hard to create commercial anime, it was mostly used at this time to create PR films, educational films commissioned for the government, and military propaganda. In 1956, Japan Animated Films started doing business in another name which will sound familiar to anime fans, Toei Animation. Yes, the same Toei Animation responsible for some of the most iconic anime of all time, including the Sailor Moon and Dragon Ball franchises. Toei Animation produced the first feature film anime in color in 1958 called Hakujeden, or The Tale of the White Serpent. This movie even got an American release in 1961 and inspired Toei to continue producing feature-length content. Unlike other animation studios at the time, Toei believed in letting their animators do their own thing and showcase their creativity. Today, most anime fans are familiar with the works of legendary animator Hayao Miyazaki, who co-founded the famous Studio Ghibli. He's responsible for films like My Neighbor Totoro, Spirited Away, and Princess Mononoke. In the 1980s, Toei would collaborate with companies like DiC Entertainment, Marvel Productions, and Hanna-Barbera, creating cartoons for Americans. Yet weirdly enough, Toei produced the first 3 seasons of Muppet Babies as well as a handful of episodes in the 4th season. This collaboration and ones like it helped forge a connection between American and Asian animation studios. But Osamu Tezuka was a prolific manga artist, animator, and producer who many people consider one of the fathers of manga. He's even been compared to Walt Disney in terms of his contribution to the entertainment industry. For a time, Tezuka worked for Toei, but in 1961 he founded his own studio, Mushi Production. This studio was responsible for early genre-defining creations like the Astro Boy television series, which was highly influential at the time. Following its release, there were many subsequent projects involving robots and/or outer space. Mushi was also responsible for anime like Kimba the White Lion and Princess Knight, one of the few examples of a shoujo anime from this decade. The anime that was getting produced during this time was experimental, as novice animators were suddenly thrust into directorial positions. We saw the beginnings of mecha anime with projects like Science Ninja Team Gatchaman, Space Battleship Yamato, and Mobile Suit Gundam. In addition to these action-packed anime, there were also projects aimed towards female audiences, including Candy Candy and Rose of Versailles. During the 1980s, Japan was enthusiastic about the Star Wars franchise, and we saw this reflected in the many space-themed movies which kicked off the anime boom of the 1980s. We saw series like the Super Dimension Fortress Macross and Mobile Suit Zeta Gundam, which was a massive success. Not only was anime popular, but it had developed a dedicated fan base who were even buying magazines about anime, including Animage and New Type. During this time, Studio Ghibli was founded, and their first film was La Puta, Castle in the Sky, which is still popular to this day. In the 1990s and early 2000s, anime grew leaps and bounds as it became more profitable and studios were able to use more resources to create it. Princess Mononoke became the most expensive anime to produce at that point in time when it was released in 1997, costing an estimated $20 million. Many series during this time had international success like Pokemon, Dragon Ball Z, Sailor Moon, One Piece, and Digimon. And many of these shows are still going strong today and led to anime-influenced animation, including Avatar: The Last Airbender, Samurai Jack, and Teen Titans. Not only was anime popular, but it was now easily accessible to international audiences. In the 2010s, streaming services like Netflix and Amazon Prime began licensing anime, bringing it to an even wider audience. Now Netflix is even partnering with Japan-based animation studios to create their own anime content. Over the years, anime has gone from a struggling industry to being comfortably mainstream. It has no shortage of fans both in Japan and overseas, and has influenced media all over the world.
All right, I hope you guys got to learn a little bit about the history of anime. Even though we're watching it today, it's nice to kind of see where it came from and what other shows inspired some of the shows you might be watching today, or some of the comic books that you're reading and different pictures that you're drawing. It's nice to see where that all came from. So now I found a new article. It is about Japan's first major Black-owned anime studio. So people that look like you and me can create anime as well. So they've opened their own anime studio in Japan. Meet the man behind Japan's first major Black-owned anime studio. So you can click the link that'll be in the description, which is the second line of words here, and you'll be able to see the full article of where I got this information from. And in the background, you hear music by BTS, which is a K-pop band known as Korean pop music. And the song is Idol.
My name is Arthur Isom. I'm the CEO and art director here at the Art Studio. We started with an empty room and a whole bunch of boxes and things on the floor. We just had a whole bunch of animators and things just kind of sitting around, and we were like, okay, we need to figure out where the animators are going to sit and where our art director is going to sit. You have to have a really good team. I think that's really important for the survival of a company. You really need to rely on the people who are moving the ship forward, essentially. If the team is willing to keep trying hard and to keep investing in it, the energy that's required for the project, then the project will succeed no matter the difficulties. And I think that only a really good team has that. If you have a team that believes in that, and they believe in the company, and they believe in what the company stands for, then I think your company will last for a long time. The art studio means the art studio. That's the simplest way to think about it. And then in Japanese, stagio, so we have a different spelling, is S-H-T-A-J-I-O. The stagio is based from the kanji, which we use in background painting. It means the base, the underpainting. So stagi. So stagi means the underpainting. So we kind of take that for the foundation. So the art stagio is kind of like the foundation of art. And we kind of, our ideology kind of forms from that. So one of our sayings is like, stagi ga daiji, so the foundation is important. Everything that we do, we kind of start from that process. Like if we're writing a story, or when we go into the storyboard phase, we're going to the painting phase, we always think about the base first. So like how do you tell a character-driven story? You have to first think about the base of this character, right? You have to think about where did they come from, before you can just kind of come with a cool design. But before you think about their color, before you think about all of that, there's always the foundation, which is like where the focus should always be. And we really believe in that. The thing that inspires me with art is actually the process of art. Which is probably why I enjoy the challenge of starting a company as well. Like, I think the process of things is what inspires me to do them. So I enjoy trying to figure things out and actually taking those steps. Like, I think that's like the most enjoyable thing for me. You have to think about it very clearly, have a very clear vision of what you want. And then once you have a clear vision of what you want, then a very clear ideology and process and map image of how you're going to get what you want. And if you can do that, then I think you can do anything.
Education. Arthel studied art history in Italy, which is the first picture here at the top. Then he also attended school in San Francisco, second picture here, and Osaka, Japan, which is the third picture here, which greatly influenced his art and love of Japanese anime.